If you're new to the channel, I'm Gary Martin, one of the PGA pros from Huddersfield Golf Club, and today we're going to be answering a question from one of our subscribers, John Roundtree. So John had watched one of my recent videos on distance gapping and swing lengths, and what John had put in the comments it was quite funny actually. He'd put that he were going to put his 60-degree wedge in the freezer and he weren't going to take it out until it got 60 degrees hot, and it made me laugh that. And so I sent him a message back, and he said that, you know, every time he pulled his 60-degree out, he was finning it, or, you know, he'd top it to the point that it'd get about knee height, you know, enough to take his playing partners out. So he's a bit scared of getting his 60-degree out. So yeah, I thought I'd you know, cover that one off really, and you know, just do a little bit of a short tuition video for anybody that's out there and might be, you know, confident with the sort of wedges, and, you know, has got a habit of sort of topping them or finning them. I've got a great drill for that one, so, you know, if that's you, stay tuned in. So just before we start, let's make sure everybody's clear about what a fin shot is, or a top shot. A fin or a top shot is when you strike the ball above halfway, alright? So it comes firing out, there's no spin on it, there's no control, you know, it comes out really low and runny. You know, it's actually one of the worst shots you could play, you know, from around the green, because there's absolutely no control, is there? And I'm sure you've all played one of them shots. Now, there's a couple of key principles that, you know, if you're not doing, you should be doing, alright? So, a couple of key principles in your pre-shot setup, so that's before you actually make a swing, that you've got to make some accounts for. Otherwise, you know, it's going to encourage you to fin the ball. And this is what, you know, some of you guys could be doing. You could be making these changes, but then not accounting for them. And I'm going to describe what I mean by that. So, you know, when we're playing a normal shot, a normal iron or a full shot, you generally tend to stand with your feet around shoulder width apart and your ball in the middle of your stance. But when we're playing sort of a pitch shot, you know, we're going to stand with a little bit narrow stance inside shoulder width, and you generally, if you're being taught right, you're going to be putting a little bit more weight on this front leg. So if you don't account for that with your ball position, then there's a good chance you could fin it. Because once you start to put weight on your front leg, your swing centre, so that's where your club's going to bottom out, moves forward, and I'm going to demonstrate that. So as we put weight on the front leg, the swing centre moves forward. So if you don't change your ball position, your swing centres move forward, and your ball's still in a position, you know, where your weight would be 50-50, you're going to swing over the top of the ball, or you're going to hit the top of the ball. So it's really important, when you start to put weight on your front leg, that you account for that, and you change your ball position. So I'm going to put 60% of my weight on the front leg, and that's going to move my ball position about an inch forward. Alright, when I do that, it just moves, the swing centre moves about an inch forward. So I'm going to play that ball an inch in front to centre. Alright, what I like to do as well is keeping my shoulders square. So, you know, square and parallel to the target. I'm going to just withdraw this foot. So I'm going to pull this foot back a little bit just to withdraw the hip, just an inch. Because we're not playing a full swing, we've got to make sure that our bottom half of our body is mobile, so that we can clear as body and turn correctly. Alright, because we're not making a full swing, there's not going to be a weight transfer, we've already preset that weight. So that's just going to encourage us to turn that body. So there's 2 points you should have changed so far. It's narrowing your stance a little bit, presetting your weight 60% on this front leg, and then making sure that ball position is just in front to centre, just an inch, just to account for them changes. Alright. Now, you know, if you've got them pre-swing principles correct, and you're still finning the ball, alright, one of the biggest things that I see in the in-swing, it's 2 points. So we've got set up correctly. There's 2 points that can cause a fin shot, or the most common ones that I see in the in-swing. And the first one is that the player is transferring a lot of weight onto the front leg, so they're leaning towards the target, and again the swing centre's moving. So the swing centre, it should be set over the ball, moves forward, and that causes them to hit the top of the ball. So it's really careful. I'll put this alignment stick here. It's really important, that when you take your backstroke and your follow through, that you're keeping your left cheek glued in position, alright? So we don't want your head to move back and forward, because that's changing your swing centre. As you turn your shoulders, try to keep your head glued in position. Alright, so it's really easy for you to get that sort of swing centre, or stops that swing centre moving. So if after changing them couple of pre-swing principles and really thinking about your swing centre, you're still catching the top of the ball, I would be a bit suspect that you could be what we call a handle dragger. Alright, so as you're starting the downswing, you're pulling the handle of the club and creating a very steep angle of attack. Alright, and you know, almost pulling your handle so that your club is descending so steeply that it's got a very big chance hitting the top half of the ball. Okay, so what I would do then, I would try to sort of have a little bit of a drill where you let the weight of the club head fall and descend towards your back foot. So get a feeling of the club passing your back foot. So when you're swinging, we're not sort of pulling the hands and getting really steep. We're trying to let the club head fall, the weight of the club head to work a little bit more like this, so it's falling in the downswing towards your back foot. And then what we're going to do, we're then going to put a body turn in as we do it. So let the weight of the club head fall and then turn your body at the same time. Alright, now if you don't turn your body and you're letting your club head descend towards your back foot, then you are going to hit the ground heavy. You know, the club's going to dig, you're going to hit the ground heavy. So it's really important that you make sure you make a good body turn as you do this. So let the weight of the club head fall and then turn the body at the same time. So if you are a finner or a topper of the ball, you've now got a couple of really good pre-swing principles and a couple of really good in-swing principles to be considering next time you're practicing. You know, don't give up with your pitching, guys. It's a really important part of your game, and you know, I spent, you know, too long trying to work around pitching, you know, instead of just really tackling the problem. And you'll relate to this, guys, if you know, if you're someone that struggles with your pitching, you know, trying to sort of putt from around the green and, you know, trying to play chip and runs. But, you know, eventually you're going to get caught out, you know, where you've got to get over a bunker. And all you're doing by, you know, is avoiding, you know, you're just avoiding the problem, aren't you? And, you know, to get better, sometimes you just got to go head on and get through these things. So I hope them few points help you. And you know what? I'm loving engaging with with subscribers. So, you know, any sort of problems you've got within your game, drop them in the comments, because, you know, if I think that they're relatable to other subscribers, I'll do a video. I think, you know, the most important thing about this channel is that, you know, the content is geared around you guys, you know, and obviously, you know, I don't want to be sort of just making content up. And, you know, some of my friends have said, oh, why don't you make like a 2-iron into a 1-degree loft and all that? Well, I will do if you want, but I don't know, you know, what you're going to gain from that. So yeah, any good ideas you've got, you know, get them in the comments, and yeah, we'll keep these videos coming.